Okay folks, Bluetti was kind enough to send this 2000 watt power station, and today we're going to give it a little go with this emulsion blender. It's only 500 watts, so it should have no problem whatsoever on that. We're going to try to use it by blending up our applesauce. Well guys, today I'm going to be using this Bluetti 2000 watt hour power station while I'm processing some tomato sauce. Guys, as you seen earlier in the video, I first started out using this thing on the emulsion blender, or the handheld stick blender. And today we're going to go ahead and use this Bluetti 2000 watt hour power station with the food processor. I'm making some tomato sauce today, so I need to grind up some onions and green pepper and some celery and a few other little things here and there. Then later on we're going to test it out with the Nesco roaster oven. Then see how long the 2000 watt hour battery can basically run my roaster for smelting down before I have to change over to a generator. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead. This has got a touch screen. I just turned it on with the power button. Then the screen comes up. Now I just have to hit AC on. We're at 100% on our power station. Okay. Seeing how I didn't have any fresh garlic, I'm going to throw some of this minced garlic out of a jar in there. I'm going to throw a couple. Well, can never have too much garlic, right? And maybe some celery here to go along with it here in a second. Give the celery a bit of a rinse. There. Got some celery, some garlic, onion. Alright guys, either I'm going to have to run the generator or boil this stuff down the rest of the way on the stove until it gets thickened up, because unfortunately I'm down to 17%, but I gotta admit that was a lot better than I thought it was going to do. Or it ran a lot longer at 350 on the Nesco. The Bluetti was able to run for about an hour and a half on it. I don't think that was too bad on a 2000 watt hour power station. Anyhow, we're going to use the stick blender here to help it cook down a little bit faster by making everything into more of a pulp than the chunks of tomatoes, so then it should boil down faster. Anyhow guys, the Bluetti's been doing a fantastic job. I think I'm going to have to transfer some over because we're getting down to 13% on the battery. So what I'll do is probably mix it up the rest of the way with this stick blender and then bring out the generator or transfer it, one or the other. Anyhow, stay tuned. Hard to see, folks, but 1912 watts is what the big saw is taking right now. Okay guys, this Bluetti AC200P definitely had its work cut out for it while I was cutting this green treat for the top of that strawberry bed with my 12-inch chop box. This thing's got a 2500 watt overload on it, and I do have to admit that when I was cutting fast on the saw, I did pop the overload a couple times. But if I went fairly slow with it, it did a pretty good job. A couple things I like about this one: it charges in about 3 hours with the wall outlet. I guess you can put in about 500 watts at a time to get it charging from the wall outlet. As you see, they sent also along 200 watt solar panel. Currently it's not charging, or at least not much, because there's not much sun out. It's got a whole ton of jacks. I mean, everything from the old cigarette lighter, 12 volt 10 amp, to the 12 volt 3 amps. And then it's got 12 volt 25 amp, along with that 60 watt fast charge. A couple normal USB ports. Actually 4 of them on there. And then 6 110 outlets. And if you made it this far through the video, if you've seen earlier the canning operation we had going, it handled that stick mixer or immersion, whatever you call it, blender, and then the food processor without any issue whatsoever. We're going to go ahead here shortly and try the table saw on this. I got a little 10-inch table saw. I think it's like a 3-horse max rated, so we'll see if that'll work on this thing without kicking off the breaker. I'm not a real high-tech type of person, so I prefer to show you viewers that what they're capable of doing. Well, let's see if we can rip a 2x8 down with the Bluetti AC200P. One of the features that are really cool on this Bluetti power station is that they got a touch screen on there. It'll let you know when you have faults and all this other stuff. How many watts you're drawing, how many watts you're charging with. It's pretty cool. This is almost unfair. I've popped more circuits with this skill saw than I think any other saw I've ever had. And yet I've yet to have a power station that can run this, so Let's see if we can do it with this one. They say the startup is so harsh on that skill saw that tends to pop a lot of breakers in the house or on job sites. Again, this Bluetti AC200P is supposed to have a 2500 watt surge or shut off. Okay, I'm definitely liking that power station. Obviously, it's only a 2000 watt hour battery, but you know, for doing little things around the homestead like this, it works out pretty handy. Okay, I'm so far pretty impressed with this power station. You know, I understand that it's a 2000 watt hour station, but it definitely handles my skill saw. It can handle pretty much any of the stuff on the job site. I've yet to try the compressor, but I will be doing that shortly. Okay guys, let's see if the air compressor will run off of it. If that be the case, it pretty much will run everything that I would need for a small job on the site. Obviously, you know, a battery will die before the end of an 8-hour day, but it's nice to know if a guy could use it for those 20-minute projects around the homestead or out on a job site. Or anyhow, let's see if the air compressor will run off of it. And if it does, then by all means, this is definitely worth having around the homestead for those 15, 20, 30-minute jobs. Sure, it would sure beat hauling out the generator and towing that around, or trying to come up with long extension cords where I can just park this thing right next to me and go ahead. But anyhow, without further ado, let's see. 1120 watts, 1140. So this will work for oddball jobs around the homestead. So I don't know, I'm getting kind of impressed with this thing. Nice little unit. Love the touchscreen on it. Love all the outlets. You know, and then the ports. And then we don't want to forget about the wireless charging for like your cell phones and such. I mean, the long life on my phone battery, I wouldn't probably use it much, but I'm sure there'll be other things in the future that have wireless charging capabilities. But in fact, while we were canning applesauce, my uncle was using it for his cell phone. So, and if you don't have the capability of using the wireless charging, there's always a fast charge and the typical USB ports. Anyhow, back to building the gate for the strawberry patch.